press the live button. Here we are. It's not exactly the angle I was going for, but it shall do. It shall do. I will sit and await some people to come on. So if you're watching the replay, you can hashtag this time to hashtag replay or hashtag after party, or we have some people. Hi Tracy, hi Charlotte. I'm gonna try and wave to the people when they come on. Hi Tanny. Nice to see your faces. Hi Katie. Look, the waves are fun. The waves are super fun. All right, I'm just gonna sort of hang about for a bit. Hi Christina. Hi Nikki. All right, this is fun. I actually had to sit there for a couple of seconds. You know, you get prepped, you've got, I don't really have any notes. I was gonna write notes, but I thought, I think I'll just see how we go. Hi Leanne. It's such an expansive topic that I almost like, it was too much to write the notes, so I'm just going to go with, I know the basic gist, I know what my intention is, and I'm going to go with what comes in. The inner parts of self, the unseen parts, what I have now termed the inner realm. Pretty sure I termed it that. That's the term I use anyway. I don't know if I made it up. Probably not. I think we're maybe at the point of human evolution that nothing is particularly brand new. We're just revisiting and expanding upon it. So probably can't take the credit for that. But I am excited to share this. I'm excited to even just be in this amazing group because it's amazing from both sides. So I know the side of all the speakers because, you know, obviously we're in the group together. We share our lives really, like it's part of sort of a business mentoring, growth, expansion, but it's a community now, and it's an amazing and just watching the everyone come into the group that was created. It's just, you know, it's growing at a rapid rate. So the people are ready. The people want this information, whatever particular aspect of it each individual's coming in for. It's pretty exciting. All right, so I'm just going to hang about for just a couple more seconds just so people can get on live. Christina got excited when you saw me shuffling the cards. Yes, so I've pulled an oracle card for essentially anyone who's watching this and anyone who will be watching this. You know, it's all an energetic container, and it's on some level, in some dimension, somewhere, everyone who is ever going to watch this video has already opted in some level of version of the future. So yeah, so I have pulled a card, so I will shortly read that. That's how I'll get started. So maybe I'll even, just to kill some time, I'll just share why I do that. I do that because it's cool, and because it's, hi Jess, and because it's fun, and it helps to set an intention, and helps to set a vibe and a frequency. And on a personal note, I actually really find that it helps me really land into whatever that particular topic I'm sharing today. It helps me land and drop into the energy of the place that I can share from. So that's pretty cool. And the deck, to pass a bit of time also while the people are jumping on, the deck that I use is the Rebecca Campbell deck, which is called Work Your Light. Originally chosen because of its prettiness, obviously, and the cards are freaking divine. They're so nice. And further to that, most importantly, Marika Komoda, hi. Most importantly is they are completely energetically intention filled. So when they were, you know, the words were created, it was extremely intentional done. When the drawings were done by a chick called Danielle Noel or Noel, I'm not sure actually how to say that. She drew with deep intention, and I created my event with deep intention, and I draw a card with deep intention, so that's why it helps us all to energetically align. So that's really fun. All right, so the card that I did pull for the group, so all I do is just, you know, just the intention is what message do we have for the group today. So if some people watching this is totally not going to be your thing, and that is 1,000,000% okay, but I definitely feel like with how I, first of all, the people that I draw in and magnetize, usually they've got a level of interest in it. And if it's not for you, that is totally okay. You just can watch without anything. I mean, even if it is for you, you don't actually do anything. So I'll just read the message, and really whenever we do any work like this, it's all take what resonates, let the rest go. You know, there's going to be some people in there. Hi, Tina. There's going to be some people in there, some people in here that maybe nothing will grab you, and that is 100% okay. You still get the transmission and the energy and the intention of whatever point. And, you know, the meaning of the cards is written in such a way that there's usually like a line or two that sort of hits you a little bit more energetically. All right. So I'll get started in just explaining the card, and as I said before, that helps me sort of drop into where we're going to get started and what I'm going to share today. So anyone watching the replay, so anyone jumping on, please say hi, because I can only see people that I am friends with on Facebook. If you don't, so I love to see who's here. So, I mean, you can totally be stalkery in the background. That's also super welcome. I've been there, I've done that a lot. And if you are watching the replay, please do hashtag replay or hashtag after party, or really just hashtag anything, whatever you want. Just so that, you know, I can see who's been in, who's been watching, and whose energy has been present in the field, which is cool. Hi, ladies. All right, hi. Thanks, guys. Thanks for saying hi and opting in, and I can see your face in this tiny, minuscule picture. All right, so the card that I have pulled for the group today who will be watching this now and who will really ever watch this in the future is the Crumbling. All right, so this is, on the card it says, what are you clinging to? So I will read the meaning. You take what resonates, you let the rest go, and then we shall begin the sharing of the things. Okay, page 40. Okay, the Crumbling. What are you clinging on to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home to who you truly are, both individually and to society as a whole. So you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. Whew. So I'm having like, yeah, me too, Jess. I'm actually having like a massive swell of emotion. It's probably twofold. It's probably one for my own, you know, Aliesha the human, going, yep, I see where I originally thought this chat was going to go, and in the last couple of days it sort of twisted its direction, and this is almost like validating that. But I almost have a little bit of a feel that there's probably going to be a bit of a swell of emotion in the group as a whole, because this card is really extremely relevant to where we're at on planet Earth as a human race at this very time. It's massive. I've told myself I'm not going to interject when I read these out, but I can't help it. I do apologise. You will be reborn in the fire. You're being called to surrender, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you doing your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend that everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Once the tower has crumbled, you will be able to rebuild your home on solid ground with mighty foundations and a view that is so magnificent that it will take your breath away with each new morn. Kali, the goddess of destruction, and the Black Madonna are with you now. Lay it all on the altar. They can hold it all. So that's pretty cool. The little sort of like action point from this, which I don't usually read out, but I will because it is really relevant to where we're going, is what are you clinging to for fear nothing is coming to take its place? Okay. Now, Donna pulled this card for herself a couple of days ago. Amazing. Amazing. So, however that has landed for anybody is perfect. You know, it's always exciting if there is a level of resonance because we just love the feels, don't we? So with, oh man, where do we begin? So I'll start with sort of like the basic 101s. I'll start with my journey of as like who I am. Hi, I'm Aliesha. Did not introduce myself, but that's totally fine. So I am just so you can get an idea of where my information is coming from and that I'm delivering to you guys. So I am a qualified naturopath, and I've been doing that for, it's nearly my 11-year anniversary. And it's an amazing modality and I love it. I am now doing a lot more, how I work with people and my offerings in the world are, they're not traditional naturopathy really anymore because it has evolved and expanded into all of this stuff that I want to share with you today. So how that happened, so I started off as a naturopath, was practicing, and it's an amazing modality. You know, how it looks after the physical body is incredible. But for me personally, I think I just must have had a different journey to bring to the world and a different, you know, frequency to land really. And as I was going through doing my client sessions and things like that, I will be looking down a bit. I think it helps me find what I'm trying to say, so I apologize if that's annoying. I've watched a couple of videos back of myself recently and it looks weird, but I will try to look directly at the camera, but sometimes it's where I'm finding the information. So as I was going on, I started realizing the herbal medicines were making the difference and the dietary changes were obviously giving energy, but it's like something was, I could just get a sense something else was overriding the physical health and the happiness and the ability to sort of feel how people wanted to feel in their lives. And, you know, then I started looking at the effects of the emotions on the physical body, and then the work of, you know, following the work of Louise Hay when there's a physical presentation in the body, which I think is this might be what Christina is talking about if I have assessed her event correctly, is that the physical body, when we have distortion or disease or ill health or something's not healing, there can very often be, or there really always is, an emotional pattern influencing that behind that. So I followed the trail of all of that, and, you know, I follow these threads and I end up, you know, smack bang in the thick of the human energy field. And so the emotion, you've got your physical body here that we can see, and then we've got energetic layers of ourself, which is as real as this physical body, we just can't see it. You know, science has measured that we have an energy field around us and things like that. For those that like, desire and require a scientific backing, it's totally fine. You won't find all of the answers in science just yet because it's still discovering, but and yeah, and then we've got our mental field, which is sort of where, from how I view it, is where our sort of beliefs about self, our inner beliefs about self lie in the energy field. And these things, not only are the blueprint for the physical, so what's going on here eventually will feed information to the physical, and that's where we can get some health disturbances and body expressions is what I sometimes call them. You know, when something's going on, you're like, what is going on here? Like, why is this not healing? Why is this annoying thing coming up? Or, you know, the big deep conditions as well. It's trying to get our attention because it wants us to search and it wants us to look what's going on in the rest of our parts, in our energy field. Because they are just as much you as this physical vessel is as well. So following those threads, and you know, it's like that whatever's going on in that energy field, in the unseen parts of you, not only does it influence how you heal physically, or how you feel physically, or how you even look physically to it as well, it tells you it's the lens through which you perceive the world, and it's the lens through which you perceive yourself as well. And you know, so it's like they're whispering silent beliefs about your worth or your value. If these limiting beliefs exist in your energy field, they're whispering them to you and you don't even know, you just accept that as fact. So, you know, self-worth is a really good example of that, because it's the absolute truth is that you are, I just spat, so thankfully this is a video and not an in-person group session, because that is not COVID friendly, spitting on you people. Now I've distracted myself. Yeah, it's an absolute just fact that because you exist, you are worthy. But how many of us, there's very few people that sort of are born at this point in time, totally 100% being dead set energetically aligned with that universal truth. We've come in and we've got these, you know, these beliefs and these limitations and these protective mechanisms either built in or activated through our life experience for us to have a soul journey, essentially. So, and then over as the years and years and years have gone on, this is where I do most of my work with people. It's, you know, if it's a one-on-one session, they come in and I read their energy field, and I've really come to see so clearly over the years the certain themes and patterns that exist in us, in humanity at this time. And you know, that's what I'm starting to move into, to share those themes and topics and share the information into sort of group situations like this, so that we can all, because not many of us are taught this. Not many of us, we sort of have to go out and find it ourselves, really, don't we? You know, there's going to be a few people whose, say the parents, the generation above, have already gone on this journey, so they might have shared it, but there's not a lot of, you know, we are, I think, the generation where we're having a mass remembrance of all of this stuff, which is so exciting. And it's such an exciting time to be alive, even though at the moment, you know, what's going on in the world is big stuff on so many levels, but it's going in this direction. It's part of us awakening to things that live in our own energy field and things that live in sort of like the collective energy field that are no longer serving us. You know, fears, prejudice, all sorts of things. It's a very big topic that it's like our inner realms have been turned inside out, and that anything that we cannot have as a society moving forward is coming to the surface. We can't live with this anymore. We can't live with this programming in our energy fields anymore. It's got to go. And the transformed state of that is then just, it's expansive love. It's just divine existence, because that's what we really are. That's, you know, the I am enough. I am enough just because I exist. That is there, but we can't access that because we've got all of these blocks in our energy field. Okay, so that's felt super rambly. So if that was really hard to follow, please ask questions. I will sometimes get on a tangent and then just be explaining, but I will come back and look at all the questions and comments. So please, any questions, ask them. Leanne says we are the generation of change, for sure. Yeah, and we all opted in for that. You know, we opted in for that. We said, yep, I'm coming in. I'm going to be part of this. I'm going to be part of the evolution of humanity and therefore the evolution of the soul of Earth. Because that's really why we're here. Thanks, Tan. Okay, so where do we go now? What we, so I always find the first step is sort of going, okay, right, so these are parts of me that I can explore if I am seeking change, if I am feeling that I'm not how I feel physically, how I feel emotionally, how I feel mentally, where my job is, where my level of abundance is, how my home looks, all sorts of things. It's like there can be so many little catalysts that we start this journey, but it's like, okay, I am as I am now. And what I'm trying to avoid saying here is that, you know, I don't like myself or I hate where I'm at. I'm trying to avoid using those words, but I actually will, because that is the dialogue that happens, right? It's like, you know, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy. These are sometimes the whispers that happen that are coming from the unseen parts. Now, they are there for a reason. They are there because at some point, okay, we've got super big because there is just the soul journey, right? Hi, Lindsay. There is the soul journey for particular lessons that we were here to experience, which is usually the coming through the difficulties. That's usually the soul lessons. It's not that, you know, bad things happen. That's not really the soul lesson. I mean, it might be, and obviously, you know, take what feels right for you and follow your own path. This is sort of like my level of awareness is at this very point in time. It will grow, evolve, expand, and change, of course. But what I see and what I have seen in people, and what that then sort of like says to me, and how I interpret that, is it's through the healing. That's the soul journey part. It's through the, you know, if we were abandoned or we felt abandoned, we perceived that we were abandoned when we were little. It's through, what happens there is that's a core wound. That sets up some big stuff for sure in the energy field and the framework of that human. But that's not really the lesson for the soul. The lesson for the soul is when we then go on the hunt and undo that wounding and undo the beliefs that were formed from that, and undo the hurt, and arrive back at the place of understanding that we are enough and that we are divinely loved and divinely lovable just because we exist. So that's the soul journey, to come through the other side, to go into the underground. And the more people, more and more people are doing this. Like this sort of stuff is spreading at such an exponential rate, in a positive sense, because we can't have this living in our energy fields anymore. And because it's the whole like microcosm, macrocosm thing. So whatever is in our energy fields is still will still then exist in our external world, because that is how it works. So that's why, you know, it's that's why sort of in some of the little lead up bits to this chat, I started sharing around, like, if you want to, I get so excited. I've got so much to share, so I go on many tangents, but the phrase, be the change you want to see in the world, right? Like that, I'm pretty sure that was Gandhi who said that. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. And you know, that's a, you know, I've always thought that is really beautiful. Like, let's just be the change, like be kind, be loving. And now I have recently been shown, no, you literally energetically have to freaking be the change. Look at me, I'm trying not to swear. It won't last too long. You must go into your energy field and find the parts that are no longer serving you. Find the parts that are not energetically aligned with your truth. So when I say not, you know, the phrase authentic energetic truth, what that is, that's when doesn't mean that the opposite of that is lying. It's not lying, it's the distorted beliefs. It's the woundings that keep survival patterns happening, which keep us small, because that's we're survival beings. So we want to stay safe, and we want to, and safe is the known. So that's how, you know, that's another tangent, but I'll try and stay on this tangent. Thanks for whoever's able to keep following along. So the time is for us now, all of us here, for those who feel called. No one should ever force themselves to do anything. It has to be the right time. It has to be the right window in your life. It has to have sort of like, you arrived at a place where you're like, yeah, this is my time to do this work. This is my time to even just have a little look at this work, to go, okay, well, what are my options here? Paula Ivy, hi. And then some people are like, no, my time is right now. I'm going in. It is now a non-negotiable for me to access these parts of myself. It is now a non-negotiable for me to face what may lay in my field, because there's a lot of fear around it, and it's because it is the unknown, and it's because, Lindy Jewel, hello, it's the shadow, it's the unseen parts. And when we haven't been taught it, and there's a lot of like gunk that can sit there, and we fear it because we don't know it, and it makes it it renders us a little inactive, but all of it, something might happen in people's lives, which you have no choice but to do the healing journey, right? Like it's not a choice. It's just it has to happen, right? But then some other times it's like things are coasting along okay, like I'm not haven't had any major upheavals in my life, but it's like I just feel caged. I feel stuck, and I feel like I see it a lot as like babushka dolls. It's like I'm the little one now, and I need to be that bigger version of myself. And that's when we start looking into these unseen parts, and we start delving into, okay, well, what's the limiting beliefs that exist in your energy field that are making you feel small and are stopping you from accessing more of who you are, which already exists. You just don't have access to it because they're keeping us caged, and small. And it's sometimes it's a brave choice. It's courage to sometimes take a step, but other times it feels like, no, I'm just doing it. It feels just totally right, and then we step, and the fear of it is usually greater than the actuality of it. It's as soon as we start seeing what's going on, we're like, oh, well, I can change that. That's not my truth anymore. You know, it's really amazing. As soon as we start to shine the light on it, that's when the empowerment really starts to kick in. Paula actually means small. Wow. Oh. Yeah, you've chosen, Paula, haven't you? You've chosen to have a framework that you must expand beyond, and you're bloody doing amazing at it too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that ankle. I'm pretty sure that they are going to rewrite the meaning of Paula after Paula Ivory is done. So no more, girlfriend. Thanks, Lindy. Loving this. Right. So now I'm stuck on thinking, for those of you that don't know Paula Ivy, go check her out. She's incredible, and she is anything but small. Yeah, so now I'm like following a little rabbit hole there. Okay. Mandy. Hi, Mandy. As a survivor of several forms of childhood trauma that were left unresolved, I've now reached a place of laying it all out and healing the things that have made me stay small for too long. Yeah. Sourcing the tools and the people to help with the process. So I believe it's not an accident I logged on and your video popped up. Your words right now, it's blowing my mind. I feel like my words and current thoughts are falling out of your mouth. Well, look, I am so happy to be channeling your thoughts. You know, it's all part of the service here. Paula Ivy, I'll come back to you. So, who was that? Mandy. So this is, I actually do a lot of work with, actually, yeah, Mandy, this is an excellent topic. Thank you for commenting, one, for yourself, and two, because it's, I will expand upon this as well. So I actually, you know, I do a fair bit of work with, essentially what I do is I work with the imprints that are left from trauma. So I work with the imprints. Now there's the very overt trauma, you know, childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and then, you know, the very extremely deep and obvious traumas. And then there's sort of like it's down the other end of the scale, the more subtle experiences that I, rightly or wrongly, this is why I don't talk about this a lot on the front line, because it's such a deeply and emotive topic for sure. How I see humans, I put it under the category of trauma, but it's way down from, you know, it's because the imprint, because something, an experience someone has had, has left an imprint in their energy field, and that has then led to a distorted belief about self, a framework around how they perceive themselves and the world around them, an element of being sort of like living in survival mode and being constantly on guard. So anything that falls under that category or leaves that sort of imprint in the energy field of a human, you know, that's what we do, and I do put that under the category of trauma. May not be the experience, but it's the imprint that has then been left and the flow and effects of that. And that's why, you know, the deeply overtly traumatic experiences that humans have, it's the imprint and that is left that makes them so bad, because it deeply affects the person ongoingly. And so I do a lot of work with people that, you know, time has passed, and it's also great when someone has done a lot of work with psychologists and counselors and things like that, because they sort of, the rawness, because you've got to address the rawness of it, and that's not particularly, you know, someone in my role's skill set, but then the energetic imprints that are left, that's where the deeper healing can go, rather, you know, when the time is right, when it's ready, and all according to the plan for the soul, of course. But it's such an honor to do that work with people, because then you see them, they come back alive again, they expand into who they're here to be, and they have a deep wisdom about themselves and humanity through that healing journey as well. It's very special. So, Well, that's the first time on the front line that I've spoken about things like that. So hopefully that has landed okay with people. And please comment anything if you wish to clarify. Ivy is climbing vine, yes. Yeah, so this is the thing. So Paula says here, she was sharing with her mastermind how not traveling anymore is soul trauma for her. She's grieving it so hard. So these are the elements that we look at within ourselves, isn't it? The more that we start to we get connected into the parts of us, and we hear the communications. So it usually, it can usually start like with following the physical ailments. Like it can start there a lot, especially, it's like, hey, I'm actually done with this physical thing. The doctors can't give me any answers. I'm not getting answers. I've had all the tests under the sun, blah, blah, blah. And, people then sort of seek the alternative routes. And that's when we get to go, okay, well, what's going on here? It's almost the two of my favorite types of people that I love to work with are ones that have done a lot of psychology, been on a psychology journey, and I can tell straight away, like within the first 5 minutes, because of how they're connected to their themes and their patterns and their behavior types and things like that. Hi, Kirsten Alban. Hi. And then, because then what we do is they've connected to their theme, so that's when we then go in and go, okay, well, what is lying in the energy field now that is holding you back? And we can move that on. Or we just become aware of it at the start, and then we see what needs to happen with it. And then the other one is people that are like, I've had every test under the sun. I'm not getting any answers. It's not shown what's going on, or nothing is physically wrong, but yet I feel this certain way. And then I sort of like rub my hands together a little bit like this, because it's like, we're going into the energy field then. Because that's where the information is trying to get your attention, because it's time to move on that which no longer serves you, so you can expand into more of who you're here to be. Yeah. Yeah. Now, there was a reason I was telling you about that, but now I can't remember. Yes, Kirsten, of course you love that, because you also do this work. Which is amazing. You're so cute. Okay. How is this landing for people? Is any of the ramblings making sense? I mean, sometimes it's just a concept that will land and that will be great. And this question that I'm asking applies to people on the replay as well. Okay, because I feel like I've left a lot of half-said tangents. Another flip side of this is what then starts to happen when we explore these areas and we start to do this work and connect up to these parts of ourselves. There's the healing side of it for sure. So that helps us find self-love more, find empowerment, find our belief in who we are. So obviously those things are totally amazing and 1,000,000% worth it. But it starts to it's not, this work isn't separate from then starting to become more energetically aligned with your life and become more intuitive and starting to live life from a place of flow rather than a place of control and fear. And that is, that's a place you don't go back from in such a beautiful way. You start to learn to give and receive love more openly. You start to own your energetic boundaries more. You start to call more abundance into your life. You start to feel, it's easier to feel joy, and it's easier to feel energized, and the hard times that come don't rock you as much. You still feel all of the feels. You still feel, you get knocked if the hard times come, but you come through and from in a much different fashion, and in a much more enlightened fashion. You know, we start to not feel that we're a victim to life, and that's the empowerment. We start to realize I am in control of this, and I am in charge of this because of the energetic frequency that I am here existing in. I am controlling what happens in my life. Now, not in a control like it must be like this, in a I'm creating it. That's probably a better word to use, is I am able to create the life I desire to live. And then, like, say you know, we get hit by a really difficult life circumstance. We aren't as rocked as when we feel like life is just happening to us and we have no control over it. Because for me, that's a non-negotiable position to be in. I don't want to feel like I am just this tiny little leaf in the wind getting blown around for no purpose just so they can fuck with me. Like, that doesn't to me, that's not an empowered state. That's not okay with me. So the more that I explore these parts of myself, I just get to step with ownership in my life, and I get to step with expansiveness in my life, and with purpose. Even though sometimes the step, I have no idea where the floor is, but you still just get to step. And that is not how I have always lived my life. So this journey into the inner parts of self gives you way more than I could ever share to you on this video. But, you know, I'm sort of just grabbing out little bits. Well, little bits of just wanting to drop in and share, I think, just so that we start to get just a concept of where we can go and why we might want to go there, which is amazing. Okay, I shall read some comments. Okay, Mandy. You have just opened a new door for me to explore, to further the healing journey. Look forward to exploring it further. That is so great. I really enjoy hearing that. And, you know, you've set the intention now, you've opened the door. So what needs to happen starts to, you know, the universe starts to move the chess pieces on the board, and the things start coming closer to you, and you'll know. That's the beauty, is it's like, yep, this just feels like a thing for me. I'm following it. So good. Thanks, Leanne. Keeps no more living in the fear. Yeah, we are so programmed to fear, and it's because we have lost connection to these parts of ourselves that give us the insights, that give us the knowings, that it's a remembrance of so much of who we are. Thanks, Lindy. Tagging in Cat. And we see the challenge as a place of growth, not a personal attack on oneself. Yep. Because one's an empowered position, one's a disempowered position. I always, you know, empowered position is always the choice that I would make. And what am I going to do with this? This shit thing has happened. That's a fact. If a shit thing has happened, a shit thing has happened. Right? We can't change that at this point in time. So it's like, okay, oh, you know, what am I going to do with this? And then we get to move from that position. Movement is always not escaping. We don't escape it. We just deeply and courageously and bravely, what am I going to do with this? Thanks, Kirsten. How long have I been talking for? I've got to get a watch. I really need a watch. Can anyone give me a time on how long I've been talking for? Because I don't want to overdo it, because then it's too chunky and people don't want to watch. So maybe that's it for now. I think, unless I've only been talking 10 minutes, then I'll keep going. I have a feeling it's more than 10 minutes. But I am open to taking questions. 45 minutes. Whoa, okay. We really get into a time warp. All right, these videos are meant to be, I think, 20 to 30 minutes. Oops-a-daisy. I did say, I had a bit of a catch up with quite a few of the Melbourne-based chicks who are in the Carly's Mad Mastermind, which is where the speakers have come from for this. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to go with only half an hour. All right, so I'll leave it there for now, unless there's any questions that pop up in the next couple of minutes, and I will tell the people. So I'm loving hearing you guys say I could listen to you all day, because that is my segue to also telling you how people can listen to me all day. Is I have, because, you know, there's a lot of, it's almost like, so I've been doing this for 10 years, and I sort of get a bit mad at myself over the time of going, oh, I've moved so slowly, and, you know, I should be doing more and all that sort of thing. But I have realized now, this is where, like, the information that is getting shown to me of why we do this level, why we do this work, apart from our own liberation, from our own stuff, which is, you know, number one. But I have been really getting, like, with journaling and the different ways that I sort of receive information and insights. Hello, Brenda. I've really been starting to see my purpose here is to be able to share this further and further and further, because the more people that do this sort of inner work, the more change we create in our external world. And boy, if there's ever a time that the change is getting called upon, it's right now, isn't it? So I am, you know, I'm going to be present more. I'm going to, in these sort of settings, I'm going to do more speaking. I'm going to do more sharing of the things. And as part of that, I have created a membership group, which is called the Inner Realm Collective. And that's where I'm, instead, you know, sort of, it's a different offering to the one-on-one work that I do, because it is, we can sort of like share the information in a group container and download the concepts and understand these parts of ourselves that we might want to explore, because, you know, there's, you know, lots of people do this work, but we've got to find the person that is for us and that we you know, we resonate with and things like that. So yes, so that is a membership group. It's a paid subscription where it's just brand new, so I'm sort of just getting my wheels turning there. But the intention is for me to share this sort of stuff, you know, all the different, the sacred energies, energetic boundaries that we've already done a talk on in there, and we're going to do some, you know, group Zoom interactive stuff. So, oh, it's just really exciting. I really could actually talk all day. And I am writing a book, which is on really the different ways of connecting to the remembrance of self, and you know, it's sort of like sharing the baseline of all of this stuff. But if you feel like you are drawn to any of this, but you don't know what to do with it, please feel free to reach out to me. I will drop my socials links in there, and in there. Where's there? I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. So I don't know, probably in the comments, or maybe they can go in the description. Anyway, hunt around. I'll make it really easy to find. And because this is like, you know, this will be a prompt for some people. This will be brand new information for others. And I just want you to know that there's ways that you can follow this up if you feel a little bit drawn to this work. And you know, there's other people who will be speaking, who have spoken and will be speaking in this group, in the showcase, that they might be for you. I might have sparked an idea, but you're like, oh, I'm not exactly sure if she's the one for me. Check out the others, because there will be a reason you're in this group. There'll be a reason you watched my video, and then there'll be a reason, you know, it's such a magical time for humanity for us to go in and do this work, to change our own lives, but also to really create change and be the leaders that this world needs. All right, I'm going to stop talking, but please follow me if you like this stuff and if you want more. And I will love to share with you. I will love to engage with you. I will love to see people going out there and doing the work. And yeah, it's very exciting. Don't know how to sign off. So I'll just go, I love you all. Mwah. Bye.